Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Centex Solutions. My name is Ngozi and I'm going to be your facilitator for today's discussion. Someone left me a message and said, could you please discuss the definition of ready and the definition of done? Okay, so what I tell my Scrum Masters when they join a new organization is you want to ask your teams, do we have a working agreement? If the answer is yes, you want to take a look at it. And if you get an answer that says no, the first thing to do is to facilitate a working agreement section. Some of the things you want to have inside your working agreement should be one, the definition of done and the definition of ready. So what is the definition of ready? The definition of ready focuses on the product backlog item, like the features, like the epics and the user story. But for the purpose of this discussion, I'm going to be focusing more on the user story. What is a user story? A user story are those stories that are written from a user's perspective, telling you what the action the user wants to do and the benefit that the user intends to derive from that action. So for example, as a user, I want to be able to create an account so that I can save money. That story tells you that the action the user wants to take is to create an account and the benefit is to be able to save money, right? So for a user story to meet the definition of ready, it should also meet what we call the inverse criteria. What is the inverse criteria? I stands for independent, N stands for negotiable, V stands for valuable, E stands for estimable, S for small, and T for testable. Okay, so when the PO writes those user story, one of the things you want to do as a Scrum Master is click on those user story. You want to ensure that they have good description. You want to ensure that they have acceptance criteria. You also want to make sure that they meet the inverse criteria like I just said. It allows the team to have a sense of what they need to do. It also tells them the complexity of the task. It tells them the risk involved, and it also tells them the amount of time they need to do a task. That is where the estimation or the estimable comes into play, right? When we're doing estimation, for example, using the Fibonacci sequence, when you as a Scrum Master, you read up each of the user story. When they start discussing it, you begin to have an idea based on what they're saying. They begin to understand, okay, based on this acceptance criteria, this task is going to take us 3 days, it's going to take us 5 days, it's going to take us 1 week. It's going to give them an idea of the complexity. It gives them an idea if they are going to be depending on another team. So you want your stories at every point in time to be small. If there are stories that you see in the product backlog that looks or that tells the team that this is going to be very big, you want it further broken down into granular stories. Yeah. So now what is the definition of done? You have a definition of done for the teams, and you also have the definition of done for the sprint. The Scrum Guide says that when the product backlog does not meet the definition of done, it cannot be released. Yes, it means that you have not done anything tangible. So for the definition of done for the teams is actually decided by the whole team. So what the teams, say I talk about the iPhone project now. Let's say the team wants to work on an iPhone 13. And they now say, based on the requirements that the PO gives to them, they'll not decide, okay, this iPhone 13, they need 3 cameras. The iPhone 13, they need it in blue color. They want it to be able to read a fingerprint. They want it to be able to read your face. They want it in different languages. They want it to be a touch screen, right? Those criteria are going to be part of your checklist. So that at the end of the project, the team will now come back and begin to mark those checklists. does this particular phone have 3 cameras? Yes. Can you read your fingerprint? Yes. Can you read your face? Yes. Is it a touch screen? The answer is yes. And is it blue? Oh, yes. Does it have different languages? The answer is yes. By the time you check those checklists and you pass them, and when they now go integrate and they test and everything is functioning very well, it simply means that you have met the definition of done, the team's definition of done for that project. And it also means that your product is now ready to be shipped in the customer or to the market. Okay, and what is the definition of done for the sprint? It is actually decided by the PO. The PO, based on priority, tells you all the things that you need to meet to be able to meet the definition of done for that sprint. That is why it is very important for you as a Scrum Master to ensure that all the stories in the backlog, they have good description and an acceptance criteria. Once you see an acceptance criteria, it tells you, is self-explanatory, it tells the developers all they need to do. Let's say, for example, they're building a code, right? Some of the things that you want to have on your checklist could be, you want the code build. 1, you want the codes to be able to pass what we call the unit testing. 2, you want those codes to be able to be verified by your team member or someone from another team or even by your dev lead. 3, you want those codes integrated. 4. So at the end of the sprint, the PO comes in and checks on all his criteria, right? And now meets those criteria. It means you have produced an MVP and you have also met the definition of done for that sprint. And every time you meet the definition of done and the PO accepts it, it means you have produced an MVP. In SAFe, when you meet the definition of done, it means you have built-in quality integrated inside your project. It means whatever you have done is of high quality. You want to have that. You want to be competitive in the market. You want to produce something that is of high quality. You want to stand out. And once you do that in SAFe, it means you have met the definition of done. I want to thank you so much for taking our time to listen to my video today. Leave me a comment. What are those topics? What are those interview questions that you couldn't answer? Leave them for me. I'm going to do a video and send it right back to you. You can also reach me via email using info@centexsolutions.com, or you can reach me on my phone number 214-282-1329. I do one-on-one interview preps. I RTE certifications sections. I do trainings for RTE. I can get you certified. I also want you to understand that the role of an RTE is not difficult. We have so many openings. You can do it. It is time to leave your comfort zone. All I need you to do right now is close your eyes. Picture yourself as a Scrum Master. You're working on a project level. You're working with maybe 2 teams or 3 teams, right? The only difference with the role of an RTE is you're working on a program level and you could have multiple Scrum teams. Don't forget, the RTE is the chief Scrum Master. What does it tell you? You're also doing the work of a Scrum Master, but on a higher level. You can do it. It is time to change your position. It is time to leave your comfort zone. Leave me a message. Get in touch with me. And let's get started. Thank you so much and have a great day, everyone. Bye.